episode, we have a very special guest on. I will introduce to Michael Caller. Again, he is known as AstroCaller. Maybe you came across him on Instagram previously before. If not, you can always find him on AstroCaller on Instagram and the website, which is called astrocaller.co.uk for more information. He's astrophotographer from Southeast England, an accomplished astrophotographer who have spent the last year helping others get into astrophotography with guidance on equipment by helping others progress with self-written book. It's called My pixinsight Guide, which is available on Apple iBooks. So make sure to go and grab that. And I'm sure it's available on the website too, which of course you can go on astrocaller.co.uk as I mentioned. So all those links are going to be, as always, down below for you to check. But first of all, Michael, I just want to say a big thank you for being today on the show.
No, thanks for inviting me. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Look, again, you helping a lot of people, like when it comes to your personal book, and of course, we're going to cover the reasons why you decided to come up with the book, and I'm sure it's great. Can you talk about your personal background? I mean, was there some sort of a person or some sort of an event that kind of helped you to pursue the astrophotography route?
Yeah, so there was pretty much two events. I think getting into astronomy, I started when I was about 10 years old, when we bought my dad a telescope for Christmas. And I think that was the first time I've ever looked for a telescope. And I remember seeing Saturn and the moon for the first time, and that was it. I was pretty much hooked. My astrophotography career didn't really start until 17 years later, when my 7-year-old daughter was looking online and she was seeing all of these pictures from the Hubble Space Telescope. And she was like, "Oh, Dad, that would be really cool if we could, do that." And so obviously did a little bit of research online, bought my first telescope, which was a Celestron 8 SE. Pretty much made every mistake that every new astrophotographer makes when they get into it. I didn't have a camera or anything. I borrowed my brother's Canon 80D camera. Spent many hours in the garden just failing completely. And then eventually I got my first proper astro image of the Dumbbell Nebula M27. And that was it. From that point, I was pretty much hooked. So, that was 3 years ago. And, when I look back at what I've accomplished in 3 years, just, absolutely amazing.
It is amazing because, of course, if you guys and girls who are watching this episode, if you're going to go to the Instagram page, you will see how amazing it actually is. And I love the fact that you said your daughter just was browsing on the internet and it was like, "Dad, let's make some cool photos," and you kind of came back to the.
Yeah, when I first got my scope, I literally thought it was, get a telescope, put a camera on it, and that was it. And, boy, I was wrong. Like, what came after that was just mind-blowing, the amount of stuff that you have to learn. And, there is, online, there is so much support that you can get. And I didn't really know that support was there until I started researching it a bit more. And then, that's what sort of gave me the idea, well, if I can learn this, I can teach others. And, that's what I've probably spent the last 12 months doing.
That is beautiful. So can we talk about your current equipment and the pieces that you're working with?
Yeah, so I've got 3 setups at the moment. Of course, I've got my Celestron 8 SE still, which was my first telescope, which I don't really use that often, but my main primary telescope is the eSprit 100 ED. I've got that paired with a ASI 1600 monochrome camera, which is black and white, equipped with the filter wheel. So I've got luminance, red, green, blue, narrow band, so hydrogen alpha, oxygen, and sulfur. So that's pretty much my primary imaging rig at the moment. I'm currently building a new rig, so I've just purchased a RedCat 55. I've got that paired with an ASI 183 MC, which is a one-shot color camera, and I've just purchased some additional equipment, which I'm waiting for to come to add to that. So I'm trying to get like a wide field image rig at the moment. So what I'm trying to achieve is 3 different setups. So high focal length, sort of medium focal length, and then to get into that wide field imaging.
Got it. Okay. So, I mean, for the people who are, because again, I love the fact that you're, helping others. And that's again the reason like that I'm doing the show, and like my pleasure is to have you on today so we can share your knowledge and we can continue to educate people. And again, I'm educating myself at the same time.
Yeah.
But, it's like the fact that you're helping people, it's awesome. Like it's really cool. So what will be kind of your personal advice for those people who are kind of in the beginning stages when it comes to buying the equipment? And can you talk about the price points kind of so they can get a,
Yeah.
understanding what it takes?
So when I purchased my first set of equipment, like I said, I pretty much made every single mistake that I could possibly make. So my advice is obviously one, you need to know what you want to do, whether you want to do visual or astrophotography. Uh, Main thing is you've got to set your budget. Unfortunately, astrophotography is an expensive hobby. So, my advice to people is don't buy cheap, don't buy what you can afford. If it takes you another 3 months to save extra money to buy that, better mount or better camera, my advice is to be patient and just make sure you buy that equipment. So a lot of this equipment that you're purchasing is expensive. So, you know, astrophotography is always changing. Like my first mount, I probably only used about 3 or 4 times, and then I soon realised that I needed another mount. So the cost just is stacking up and up and up. So my advice to beginners is to be patient with the equipment and just don't buy what you can afford at the time.
Okay, okay, that's a good advice. So, can we talk about your book also? I mean, it's as you mentioned, it's available for Apple iBooks for people to download. So, what will be people expecting when they're going to purchase your book? Like, what's going to be in it?
So the book I published for 3, and it was something that I wanted to give back to the community. So it's all about pixinsight. It's what I've learned over the last 3 years with processing. What a lot of people get put off by is, taking the images is one thing, and it is
Hmm.
simple in terms of the whole overall thing of astrophotography, but I actually wrote the book as a bit of a mistake. It was sort of a guide for myself just to keep reminding myself because, you can go months with cloudy skies and, not get your telescope out. And eventually you get your telescope out and you acquire all these images. And when you start processing, your mind just goes blank. And all of a sudden you get all of this data and, you almost have to start relearning how to process your images. So I started it as a guide for myself, and I got to the end of it, and then I thought, you know what, I can use this to pass on to others, and they can learn from it. So, and it has been a big success. I've had, people all over the world, email me and send me direct messages on Instagram saying, it's transformed their astro imaging, and that's what I wanted to achieve from this. So I'm glad so many people have made good use of it, and I can give something back to the astrophotography community.
Got it. So that again, that is awesome. I love the fact that you're building your own kind of experience and you're taking notes, and it took you 12 months kind of to do that. And it was like, hey, this is a valuable information. Why not to kind of put it in a book and, just condense everything and give it to the people, which is a great thing to do. But when it comes to a personal, passion for astrophotography, like what is the goal, like what is the core goal, or what is the goal for this year or the next year? Like what are you looking to accomplish in the upcoming years?
I think in the next 12 months, I think I want to do a little bit more wide field imaging. Um, So, I've just started getting into mosaic imaging as well, which, is amazing when you see these mosaic images like being. So I think, for the next 12 months, I'm probably going to do less targets, but spend more time on them. As a lot of people will know, it's all about, exposure and the total amount of exposure you can get. So, I think the highest one I'm at the moment is 21.5 hours, which is the Boyds and Cigar Galaxy. So yeah, I'm pretty much going to spend a little bit more time trying to get some mosaic images going, and really get some details out there. There's so many amazing targets that you can get multiple targets into one image. So that's pretty much going to be the goal for the next 12 months.
Okay, and so the astrophotography as itself, as a hobby, can it become something, because again, for the people who is watching, can it become something as a full-time thing?
Yeah, there's plenty of people out there. You know, you look at Trevor Jones at Astro Backyard, and you
Hmm.
know, I was following him ever since I got into this. And you know, you look at when he started this, you know, he was working 9 till 5, so you know, 5 days a week, and you know, he's pretty much full time now on astrophotography, and you know what he does for the community. So yeah, there's a lot you can do. You know, personally for me, you know, unfortunately, I can't make this as my income, but you know, every time there's a clear sky, I'm out in the garden. So that this, you know, the missus not very happy, but you know, when there's a clear sky, I'm out there. So yeah, I wouldn't give it up for the world.
Exactly, exactly. That is awesome. So you're dedicating your kind of time, which is you can spend, because again, you have a family, so you're spending all that time, you know, like taking the photos, which of course sharing, you know, on social media, personal website, and you know, you came up with the book. So you accomplished some great things so far in your personal, you know, career
Yeah.
as a photographer. So would you consider that is the greatest achievement so far, a book, or there's something else beside that also?
Yeah, obviously, I believe I have two achievements. You know, the book is one thing, and that's something me giving back to the community. I think my best image I've done today is the Eastern Ville Nebula. And believe it or not, you know, that I nearly chucked that data in the bin, and I'm glad I didn't. And when I processed it, I was blown away by how good it come. It was only 5.5 hours of data too. So
Okay, okay. Awesome, awesome. So of course we're gonna be able to find that picture on Instagram. I'm sure, right? It's gonna be somewhere there. So again, you know, look at what's going on currently, and you know, I'm sure you get asked that topic from time to time with the people that come to you. One of those questions is, you know, do you believe in life on other planets? So, kind of, what is your take? What is your personal thought on that?
yeah, it's a tough subject. Of
Hmm.
course, I do believe that we're not the only intelligent life form out there. We image very small parts of the sky, and you can see, millions of trillions of stars, and and you think every star has planets, and so yeah, obviously, aliens and stuff. It's a touchy subject, but I definitely believe there is some other life forms out there, whether it's intelligent or not. Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, okay, okay. So, and what will be this kind of one thing that people don't ask? Is there something that you would like to share? You know, because people, of course, they come across and ask about the scope, about the mounts, you know, about the people, you know, extraterrestrial human beings and like other planets. But what is the one thing that people don't ask? They should know.
That's a tough one, really, because I get asked a lot of questions. So I think, a lot of people come into this blind, and what people don't, sort of ask you is, when you take that first image, how it makes you feel. And anyone that's coming into astrophotography, when you get that first image that you've taken from your own back garden back garden with your own equipment, it's just mind blowing. So yeah, I get asked a lot of questions about astrophotography, but yeah, probably the one question I don't get asked is, does it excite me, and what sort of kick I get out of it. But like I said, the kick of it is when you see that image at the end, and that will give anyone the bug for astrophotography.
Okay, okay, got it. So, of course, like we kind of live in this day and age, you know, it's digital space, technologies is moving, you know, like as the speed of light, you know, like everything, like every new technology, something comes up every day. So, what do you do for yourself personally still? Because I'm sure you're kind of still educating yourself at some parts of astrophotography. So, can you share some of the like resources? Because you mentioned, you know, your YouTube channel, so when it comes to consuming information, you know, can you share a few kind of, you know, resources that people can follow also?
Yeah, so obviously social media is probably the biggest platform. There's so many tutorials you can get online. I've never been a book reader. I know it sounds surprising, even though I wrote a book on
Yeah.
pixinsight. But a big book for me was actually Chris Woodhouse, which is the astrophotography manual, and it's quite a big book. There's a lot of reading material in there, but I have purchased astrophotography books over the years, and I have read them, and I have taken a lot from them. But I'd probably say the biggest platform is YouTube. There's just so much available, and also the forums. You've got Cloudy Nights, Pixinsight forums, Sequence Generator Pro forums. You know, you can ask anything and there will always be someone there that can give you an answer. But yeah, the Astrophotography Manual by Chris Woodhouse, you know, it's an amazing book. So, you know, anyone that's wants to start from the very beginning, that's definitely a great book to get.
Good, good. Thank you. Thank you for recommending that. So what will be kind of your personal future projects that you're looking forward to?
I would love to do the Statue of Liberty, but unfortunately, we're in the northern hemisphere. So, you know, one day I would like to get to the southern hemisphere and definitely do that. So that's, you know, definitely top up on my list. But unfortunately, that's not one image I can get from my back garden. So, and also the Eagle Head Nebula. I'm going to try and do it this year. I'm trying to get to some dark sky sites, but you know, we've got so much rain at the moment. I think it's rained every day for the last 10 days. So and it's very difficult when you're trying to get to a dark site. You know, you can't control the weather. So, you know, you could be packed up the night before, ready to jump in the car, and then all of a sudden it's raining for the next 10 days. So yeah, they're the two targets that you know, I would love to do. Obviously I can get the Eagle Head Nebula done this year, but yeah, definitely to travel across to the southern hemisphere and do the Statue of Liberty.
Here we go. Here we go. Sounds like a good project to look forward in the future. And when it comes to just overall what's happening in astrophotography or space exploration, are you something that you're like keeping track of and looking forward to also?
Yeah, so obviously I'm a big fan of SpaceX and Elon Musk. You know, I've even just recently purchased my a Tesla, so
Oh,
you know,
congrats.
I'm jumping on the back of him. So yeah, I'm constantly keeping up to date with NASA and SpaceX. You know, I'm looking forward to the Starship test at the end of this month, hopefully. Followed the Dragon Crew demo mission all the way through. So yeah, definitely keeping on top of that. You know, I'm hoping that me and my dad, hopefully in 2022, we're going to go and watch the first unmanned space flight of the Starship at Cape Canaveral. So yeah, no, definitely keeping on top of everything. So
Got it, got it, got it. So what do you think, personal kind of thought, what do you think, are we going to be, you know, on planet Mars by like 10 years, 20 years? What do you think, what's going to happen?
if you asked me that 5 years ago, I would have probably said no. But I just think so much has happened in the last 5 years, and especially what SpaceX and, you know, there's a lot of other private space companies coming through, Blue Origin and stuff like that. So yeah, 10 years tops, I reckon we'll be there, and I can guarantee I'll be saving up for a flight. So I haven't told the missus yet, but yeah, it's just, it would be a dream come true for any human being to visit another planet and start a new life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sounds like a science fiction, right? Like as you said, you know, 5 years ago, you probably wouldn't thought that would be possible. But again, probably 5 years before, if you probably looked for a car that you probably bought Ford, but now you're buying
Yeah,
Tesla.
that's
So
that's it. And you know, like it's so much has happened in the last 5 years, and
yeah.
I think with NASA, with all of the funding that was pulled from them, you know, it was never going to happen. If you know, I think I can't remember what program I watched when they, you know, one of the guys that was involved with the Apollo missions, and he said, if you told me that we hadn't been back to the moon in 50 years, I would say you were crazy. But you know, it's
Mhm.
true, and you know, it's been so long since, you know, humanity's done something like this. So no, I'm definitely looking forward to the next 5, 10 years.
Yeah, because it seems pretty exciting. I mean, there's so many different projects that the space agencies are working on. Of course, not all of these projects are up in a news feed all the time, but there is definitely like if you know you who are watching this episode right now, if you just Google and kind of research a little bit, do your own research and due diligence, you're gonna find out there's a lot going on in a space exploration, space technology overall, in, you know, astrophotography. So it's awesome. I'm excited as well. So again, you mentioned kind of books. You mentioned one book besides, of course, your book that people can go and read. So of course, we're gonna link that in a comment section. So what will be kind of the best places for people to reach you out? I mean, you have the Instagram is, so the Instagram is the website, kind of the main places, right?
Yeah, Instagram. I do have Twitter, but you know, I'm not going to lie. I've never been a big Twitter fan, but Instagram is such a great platform. You know, again, it's really weird. I've never really been a person that has social media. I don't have Facebook or anything like that. But you know, to get my work out there and to give my advice. Obviously, that was the platform that I chose, Instagram. I set up my website a couple of years ago. You know, I'm putting up raw data so people can take my data and learn how to process the images if they haven't got the equipment themselves. And yeah, in Instagram, you know, every day, like today, I've got a guy from Northumberland, Jim, and I've been helping him set up his equipment and giving him advice. You know, and a lot of these people always saying to me, "Oh, you know, really sorry, just another question." But you know, it's what I do, and this is why I do it. It's, you know, I had no one there to help me when I started, and you know, now I just want to, you know, make sure that, you know, if someone comes into it, you know, they've got that support, and you know, that's what CALLER on Instagram is doing. So giving the support to anyone that needs it.
That's nice. And of course, we have the website, which I'm looking at currently. It says download section. You're going to find a lot of like softwares for free to download, which is cool. I mean, it's handy to have those like on a one website, one page. And when it comes to a personal kind of, you said like giving advice. So is that something that you do for free, or like do you charge people? Like how do you go about
No,
it?
everything I do is for free. So, you know, there's no point. This is not something that, you know, I personally want to make money from. You know, you can make money from this. A lot of people, you know, sell their images. You know, I have got images up for sale, but anything to do with advice, my book, you know, it's all free. You know, there's a lot of young people that I see coming in. There's a lot of 13, 14-year-olds on Instagram that are coming in, and you know, without people like us who give this advice and information for free, you know, they would stand very little chance in succeeding in astrophotography.
Yeah, exactly. You just nailed it, because again, because of the people just like yourself who put in time and effort, again, educating themselves, and you know, putting up the books and the content on YouTube, as you know, like Astro Backyard, you know, Trevor, I think that the guy's name. So I
Yeah, Trevor
mean,
Jones.
yeah, exactly. It just brings tremendous amount of value to the people who are looking to get involved, you know, with the space photography, you know. So it's an amazing, you know, to have people just like yourself who are, you know, dedicating the time, you know, to do those type of things. So that will be kind of my last question that I have. Again, like you are the fan of the SpaceX and you love what's happening, you know, in the space industry, and you know, all these great, you know, things are coming up. But what is like your personal legacy? What you're looking to accomplish?
I would like to be remembered for the person that, you know, supported the beginners. You know, I'm not looking for a massive legacy insight guide. Will probably be my legacy. You know, there's not a lot of books out there that you could pick up with the level of information for free. So, you know, my legacy, I want to be the, you know, the person that, you know, gave everything away and back to the community without making money. So
That's a good legacy to have, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to remember you for that. I mean, when you just give, you know, just give whatever stuff, you know, content away like for free, same as you do, as I mentioned, you know, like dedicating your time, you know, and putting in work. I mean, you know, that's the way life works. I mean, you're going to get something back in return. I don't know in what shape or form that's going to be, you know. Is that going to be attention, money, whatever there might be? But you know, because you know, people like yourself to deserve that, because you know, not everybody is putting that type of content, you know, out there. So that's really cool. So again, just to remind you, my pixinsight guide is available Apple iBooks, so make sure to grab that. Of course, visit the Instagram, astrocaller, and astrocaller.co.uk, the website. So Michael, I just want to say a big thank you again for being today on the show. I mean, you know, of course we can go in depth, and I'm sure you can do that too. Like, I'm not that sophisticated as you are in this case, and that's what I want for you guys and girls who are watching this episode to get in contact with Michael and ask these type of questions, you know, about the setup, about the pixinsight. Well, of course the book is there, so you can grab it. So, you know, have those conversations. Don't be afraid to talk with people, because that's why these episodes are out, so we can get in contact with the people that you're seeing on episodes and make those type of connections. So again, just want to say a big thank you, Michael, today for being on the show. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So guys and girls, just one thing I want to ask you: if you share this episode with a friend of yours who might find this content valuable, make sure to do that. And again, as always, I will see you on the next episode. Keep exploring.